do is we're gonna just go ahead and get started because we need to. So first I'm just gonna take roll call. Vice President Lively. Chair Gable.
Present.
Chair Franzi.
Present.
Chair Manzella. Present. Chair McClellan. Here. Chair Hennick.
Here.
Office Manager Van Bruggen. Here. Student Superintendent Intern Holstein.
Here.
Advisor Keekly.
Here.
Councilman Mulehouse. Dean of Students Dr. Grant. Senator Bula.
Here.
Senator Stockman.
Here.
Senator Schomer.
Here.
Senator Garing. Here. Senator Hinkle. Here. Senator Basic. Senator Copenhagen. Senator Terry. Here. Senator Sesmer. Here. Senator Ketchel. Senator Gabrosik.
Here.
Senator Kapitsky.
Here.
Senator Luce.
Present.
Senator Tibbetts.
Present.
Senator Campbell.
Here.
And Senator Anderson.
Here.
So we are going to skip over approval of agenda and minutes for now, and we can do this up on the screen. And we're actually just going to go right to our public hearing. We have Dr. Donna Pawlowski here, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about the Campus Compact and the Civil Action Plan update. So I'll just invite her forward and to introduce herself and let us know.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I recognize a few faces, so that's kind of fun. As Kaylee said, I'm Dr. Donna Pawlowski. I'm a professor in speech communication here on campus. But one of the other roles that I've been currently wearing is working with Dean Colleen Greer and about 13 other members made up of faculty, staff, administration, a graduate student, and I think we were hoping to have someone from Student Senate, but I don't think schedule's coordinated for that. And we're on a task force. And to explain a little bit what that task force is about, it's working with creating a civic action plan through an association or an organization called Campus Compact. Campus Compact is an association that has been around for about 30 years. There are about 1,100 colleges and universities associated with this. And the primary goal of Campus Compact is to connect with institutions to create opportunities for students on the campus as a whole to be more civically engaged in their community. So it might be service learning projects, it might be other internships perhaps, or other venues where students can engage with the community, perhaps through academic learning outcomes or through students' affairs side. So there's multiple ways in which the campus and students can get involved. So what happened last year before President Hansen left is that about 40 presidents within the Minnesota system signed off on a presidential commitment, committing each institution or his or her own institution to creating an action plan for the university to be committed to this democracy, to be committed with getting students and the university out into the community more, making more of those partnerships and those reciprocal relationships. We are at sort of a starting point of that because to date, the university doesn't have anything specifically that identifies any infrastructure or a resource base or a central office related to community engagement or service learning engagement. So one of the things that we're doing in the task force is in the next year or two, we're going to be sort of doing a database collection at the ground level. What's happening on the student side, what's happening on the academic side, what's happening in the community side, where are the needs and pressing issues that we have in our communities, and how can we help to connect some of those partnerships with communities. The whole purpose, in a sense, primarily is to get students engaged, but not just you, but us as faculty and staff as well, because we want to make it sort of a university commitment. So my goal tonight is to just let you know that we are in process. We're doing this. We'd be happy to have some students on the task force. We only have a couple meetings left this year, but if anyone is interested in doing more civic action or community engagement, we'd love to have you on that task force next year as we start creating sort of surveys, inventories, finding out what the good things are that are taking place at BSU, and then again, finding opportunities for bridging that. It might be a few years by the time we get sort of a clearinghouse or a database created because we know people are doing good things, but we're not quite sure who's doing what. So we want to do it right and start with the pieces we have and then find those greater connections with the community. So in about 3 or 4 years from now, we're hoping wave the magic wand would be great to have a center of like community engagement. Not sure if we'll get quite to that point, but at least a commitment from a lot of folks on campus. President Hensrud is very excited about this. She comes from an institution that is well established in service learning and community engagement, and they had a center there, and a lot of institutions have centers for this, so we're hoping to move in that direction. But we're hoping you all will be interested in this and maybe even be involved in the task force or even sort of a liaison for faculty or community members down the road. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. Just wanted to give you an update that we're moving forward, and it's based sort of on presidential commitment with that organization. So does anyone have questions about anything related to that?
It's not necessarily a question, but I love so much that you're doing this. I think it's great to try to get students out in the community more because we have such a great community here in Comanche. And I actually wanted to let you know as well that in our sustainability planning through the Sustainability Office, one of the 4 areas that we've been looking at is community and culture. And a lot of the ideas that you just brought up are a lot of the same ideas that we have. So I think we could get someone, a representative from the Sustainability Office.
Erica Bailey Johnson is actually representative on the task force, and while she's on sabbatical, I want to say Molly, but that's not correct. Anna, thank you. She is the representative for Erica this year. So we're hoping, and that's what we're hoping to do. What's happening in other places at the institution, and how can we sort of fold this under an umbrella, so to speak, so people aren't running 6 different places to find things or make these connections, that we kind of have them housed in sort of a central location. But yeah, I came from Creighton University in Omaha and worked with this process there for about 15 years while I was on faculty there before coming here. So I'm excited that the university is passionate about this and to be able to work with that. So thank you for your comment. I'm glad you're excited because we're excited too. Any other questions anyone has? Again, if anyone's interested, either let myself know or Colleen Greer, the Dean of our College of Arts and Sciences. Her and I are sort of co-facilitating this task force, and we'd love to have some students reps.
What do you guys meet?
We basically meet about every other Monday at 1 o'clock. So we'll be meeting a few more times before the semester is out. We have a draft of the plan right now, and we are sort of finalizing that. A copy is going to go to President Hensrud next week. Dr. Greer and I will meet with her the following week, and then we need to submit that plan to the main organization. Our Minnesota Campus Compact is down in the cities. So we're still sort of formulating things, but identifying kind of a timeline of what things need to get done next year or so.
Okay.
It's probably more of an answer than what you wanted, but.
No, yeah, unfortunately, it's not working. I'm classic.
Yeah, and I think that happened. I think you had a few folks lined up, Kaylee, to work with that, but it seems schedules were not quite coherent with that this year, so.
Yeah, that's what happened. So if anyone now is interested in this and is available, as she said, Mondays at 1 o'clock, then we can definitely go and represent student senate.
Yeah, I would like to volunteer and attend one of your meetings.
Okay, if you want to either send me an email, it's just D Pawlowski,
Okay.
Pawlow,
I got it.
SKI. Follows, fails, keep your paws low when you ski. And you remember both W's, otherwise I get all kinds of crazy spellings, but yeah, D Pawlowski at Bemidji State. So yeah, let me know and I'll let Colleen Greer know. I think our next one is not next Monday, but the following Monday, so that week of Easter, I believe, but I'll double check on that date. But yeah, if you send me an email, we'd love to have you.
Sure, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, comments? All right, well, thank you for the opportunity. Have a great meeting.
All right, so we have the agenda now. So we can move back to approval of agenda. Any amendments or?
Motion to amend the agenda.
Can you speak up, please?
Motion to amend the agenda. Oh, to add, talking about the debate.
We do have elections on the agenda.
Oh, is
but
that new business? Sorry.
will you be able to cover that in there? Chair Hennick,
Yeah, no, sorry, I couldn't see it.
Office Manager Beverly.
We do have a candidate here that needs to be voted in, so if somebody could motion for that.
Senator Tibbetts.
Motion to vote on the candidate.
All right, so any other amendments, Senator Ula?
Yeah, I think we should motion to amend and, okay, you already did it, my bad. He said vote on the candidate, that's why I was just making sure.
Okay. Any other amendments? Chairman Doyle? Okay, is there a second? Senator Sokol? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, perfect. So we do have someone that's supposed to be calling in, so we'll see if we can get him on here. His name is Faisal Rayani, and he is the sorry, everyone, I'm not used to this stuff. Anyway, he's a student senate president at Minnesota State University Mankato, and he's running for Students United State Chair, and that's we'll be voting on that this weekend when we go to delegates. So he just wants to introduce himself to all of you, and I think kind of say why this should be voted on. Yeah, I don't want to hear everyone. Chair Hennig, do you have a comment?
I motion to move forward until we figure this out.
Yeah. Chairman Jones?
We would have to, I'm pretty sure they're just gonna pause the meeting quickly to download the plugin.
Chair Francine?
Motion recess for 5 minutes.
Okay. Senator Lewis?
Second.
All in favor of recess takes 5 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Don't
My name is Chris Oriani. I'm running for the position of state chair in Students United. How many of you all know what that is? Raise your hand up.
Who knows what Students United is?
How many of you all know what Students United is? Oh, I see hands up, except this room. All right. So, my organization governs all the student governments for all the students. It's basically student government for student government. And what we do is we advocate for you for the issues in the MISCU system. So we advocate for you in the MISCU office, basically control 7 schools. We advocate for players that offer budget 1% covered by the state. Yeah.
You're kind of breaking up a little bit, so I don't know if you should get closer or.
It's pretty close.
Like, is it, or is it like?
It's feedback.
It's turn down the room and then maybe turn up
Because
your
you tried to
volume.
use a microphone.
Yeah, turn down the room so it's not, now try.
This is Chris Oriani. I am from Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Oh,
that's perfect.
right here. Alright.
Hello, my name is Chris Oriani. I am from Saudi Arabia. That's 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
Perfect.
You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Keep going.
Thank you. So I was just explaining what Students United was. Students United is student government for all the other student governments. We talked to MISCU for changes that affect you. So we're your voice for the people for the MISCU system, for legislators, governors, senators, House representatives, because they actually appropriate the amount of money that we get at the state institution. And so that comes into play when we don't want a tuition freeze, and the university still has more expenses coming up because of, housekeeping fees, like things that the university has to spend with inflation. So that really helps get money from the state. We also advocate for you on your own campus level and on your own student government level, and that's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit later. A little bit about me. Again, my name is Chris Oriani. My name means the part good and evil of Arabic. I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia. My father is from Tunisia and my mother is from Syria. I spent 4 years in America so far, and I started off in student government in the residence halls. I was, how many of y'all started off in the residence halls? All right. RHA. Our campus is actually hosting the Member conference has already hosted the Member conference this year, so we're pretty proud of that. I started off in RHA, and then I became the International Student Vice President, the Residence Hall Vice President, and Student Senator all in the same year. I had the 3 elections in the same year. And then the following year, I ran for Student Body President, and that's where I am right now. And now I'm running for State Chair. The reason why I want to run for State Chair is because I have really loved it in Students United, and I really love my work in student advocacy, and I wanted to continue. I figured out that I can change, and I love it. And I feel like my life is more full when I'm advocating on not just for myself, but for other people. And I'm starting to understand the system, and I feel like my personality works really well for this role. Personality is relationship building and nurturing, and I think that will work really well when we the students need something from someone. It's good to have a good relationship with people. Some of the things that I'm running on, some of the things that are on my campaign are emphasis on students. I want to put more emphasis on your leadership in your student government, and I want people all to have all the power. For example, I know have issues with some schools have issues where the voice isn't being heard, and I know the U of M for sure has that problem. And that kind of thing, I think, is important to have student voice on, especially should I have the position of state chair. That's when I would like to be able to actually draft those places and say, hey, 2,000 students, Students United want this specific student government to have a voice, and we want to empower the students. That's what our model is. We believe in that. And that's where I would use my position to give you, the students, more power. Another example of the bills that came out, I don't have them, I actually do have them on. 1 second. I'm going to see my notes today. I have the bill of HF 2198 and 2197, and those are 2 bills that impact student government models adversely. So what these 2 bills say, one of them says that you don't have to pay student humanity anymore, and the other one says that every time y'all have a student decrease, instead of having y'all voting on it, it would have to be the entire student population, which is basically taking your power and taking your ability, your knowledge inside, and then diluting it across the entire student population. Most of them don't even know what's going on. They don't know why putting in the Inclusion Center. They don't know why you have to care about the environment. And those are the two motions that, for example, that I would be very much not positioned to, that I would use my authority as state chair to oppose. I'd also want to eliminate any frugal investments. I haven't really any frugal investments in our budget. I spent 4 hours with our office director, Elspeth Howe, and I threw all of our budget. And it doesn't seem like we have any frugal investments, but there's always opportunities to improve our funding. For example, those of you who've gone on the delegates conferences, I want to have delegate conferences on campuses instead of in hotels. And it's a huge idea. It's going to take a lot of work from the campus side, a lot of contributions from staff, and I would have to be thoroughly involved. But I think if we can pull off even just one of them next year, then we can set up a nice precedent and we just iron out the details. I'm also really about unity and community. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I think that we have a lot of power in our unity. 60,000 students and Students United, we used to be called something else. Students United. I think that there's a lot of power, but I think it has even more power if we collaborate with the interfaculty organization, which I met with their president. Is going to be, they have 2-year terms, and the current president, Tom Bobrovsky, is going to be the president for next year. So I believe in collaborating with them and being on the same page with them. Because imagine how strong it was when one student that is representing all the students testifies towards legislation. And now imagine what that looks like when you have all the faculty and the students agreeing on something, testifying. I think that has a lot of strength. I've also been in contact with AFSCME, and that's the Union of Maintenance Workers and all other staffs on campus. And I also have been meeting with senators and legislators and House members on my own time. I'm meeting with Senator Bolton this Friday. And so I think the collaboration and not just between us internally as an organization, but also with other organizations have a lot of impact on forwarding our agenda and finding common grounds and forwarding things that we all believe in all together. I also, a huge thing that I believe in is eliminating internal conflict. And I'm going to be completely blunt. Students United has there are 3 bad rumors I know of about Students United, and there's so many good things, and that's what I want to focus on. But before you move on to something better, you have to acknowledge there's a problem so you can eliminate it. The first bad thing is that Students United is not productive. Too much internal conflict actually makes things happen. And that's something that I want to completely destroy. I think that we should all focus on the things that benefit us all together. Instead of classic, the big schools go off to the side and small schools go off to the side and then have conflict. I think we should just forget about the thing. Something will harm any school. That's something that we need to consider. That's something that should not be on our agenda. Should not be emotional. Should not be something we're considering. I think we should focus all our energy on the things that will help everyone out. And by that, I think our delegates will be shorter, the big long meeting that everyone dreads, and I think we'll all be more focused and more productive. I also want to eliminate, there's this week rumor going around that we're frugal, that we're not frugal with money, that any money that we get, we just kind of throw around. And that hasn't been, I went through the list line item by line item, spent hours with Elspeth looking at it. I've looked at this credit card statement. We're not crazy with our money. We're pretty wise. And I want to spread that, and I want to be proud of us. And I think, and the third thing is, Students United don't do anything, but we have done a lot. And my big thing is I want to brag about us. Because I know you all brag a lot about your governments, and your president brags a lot about your school, and we do too, and it's great. We have to brag. People won't know how often you work to brag. And I think that will put us in a really good position. And if we improve our organization, especially when we ask for tuition appropriation with the government, things like that. I don't know how much time I have. I want to set aside like 3 or 5 minutes to hear back from you guys. So I have a few more things. Can I say them, or should I stop now and hear what you want to say?
Why don't we stop for a minute and just see what kinds of questions people had, and maybe it'll bring out the things you were going to say anyway. So, anyone have any questions? You can hear
I'm
me.
sorry.
You have to talk much louder.
Can you hear me?
Stop. Sorry, we'll ask questions now.
Okay.
Did I see one over there?
We'll come back to you
It's
though.
Peter.
Yeah, we'll come back to you though. I don't know if you heard.
Your table?
Oh yeah. Not sure if you can hear me, but you said you have a good personality for the job. What experience do you have relating to this position?
Repeat it, Kale.
Could you repeat that, please? I can't hear it.
Kale, could you
Oh,
repeat it?
actually, Peter could just go up to the
I don't
computer.
understand. Go to the question. Stare him in the eyes.
You're
right in that camera. Face to face.
You said you had a good personality for the job, but what experience do you have pertaining to the position?
That's a great question. I have been to one delegate upside of me being a board director, but I think my 1 year in being a board director has been a great learning experience. I think I've absorbed a lot in that 1 year. And I think just being a board director is the closest you can be to the position of state chair and advocacy. I've gone on to Advocacy Day. I don't know if y'all have been, I think I saw a lot of you at Advocacy Day. Who here went to Advocacy Day? A good amount. So Advocacy Day, I went there, we went on the DC trip and I talked to senators there, and I think I can, I have only been in this country for 4 years, but I am pretty confident in my ability to learn and catch on and understand things. I may not have an immense amount of experience knowing that I've gone to only one delegate before this, but I've done my due diligence. I've contacted the previous state chair that was there before, State Chair Wolf, just because she would have an interesting perspective if someone was already left. I had an hour conversation with her about what it would be like and what her role is, and I contacted, I went down to the office, I spoke with all the staff members there, and I had a 4-hour conversation with Elspeth, and I had 2-hour conversation with Sarah. For those of you who don't know, Sarah is the legislative assistant, and Elspeth is the office manager, or not the office manager, the executive director. So I think I have a good amount of experience, not just personality.
Thanks, Basil. Any other questions? Chair Hennick?
I don't even need to get close. So you talked about bragging and a lot like working together. But what would you see us doing to like help with like publicity of Students United? Because when I talk to my friends from Moorhead, here in Bemidji, even St. Cloud, I have a couple friends in Winona. A lot of people don't know what Students United is and what we do. So what would you do to facilitate and let people know what we do and how we go about doing it?
Sorry, what was that?
And how we go about doing it. Sorry, like to let people know.
I think I already have a few initiatives in mind. I think that collaboration with the interfaculty organization would be key. One of the keys, actually. I know when I went and met with Jim, I asked him, what do you want to collaborate on? What do you see students and faculty collaborating on? He said that it's going to sound weird, but there's a HEL meeting. That's a higher education LL something something. He didn't remember the acronym either way. But it's a meeting where all the unions get together and they talk about legislation that impacts everybody. So that's one way we can collaborate. But going back to your question, Jim was very interested in having big community service events. But I think having your name out there in community service events like donating food, collaborating with each other and volunteering, and having Students United branded all over everything will go great. I also think me personally going down to campus and speaking to student governments and having a face out there will do a lot. And I also one of the things that I want to do, I think one of the responsibilities of the chair is setting expectations for board directors. And your board director has been great, and I think all the board directors this year have been great, but it's just really hard to go about doing your job for a year and not know what to do. So I want to have some sort of like guidelines set up beforehand that kind of explains expectations of the board director in a way that allows collaboration with the campus committee and in a way that allows collaboration with the state chair. And I guess I haven't worked on that all that much, but that's definitely one of my big things. And I have a big chunk of orientation set up. So it's going to be orientation with campus committee members. So we'll have them be more active on the campus, and orientation with board directors. Because the big thing is we're all thrown into our roles and most of us don't know what's going on. I mean, I personally did not know what's going on. And I want to speak about myself because I know your board director has a great deal of knowledge. And honestly, I think Kelly knows more about this than I do, especially having served as an CSA president or chair. Not sure what they call it there. But I think the big thing is people don't know because there's so much turnover and people are thrown into it. So if I put more effort into that planning and that orientation phase, that will perpetually have more difference in the middle of the year.
All right, great, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna stop taking questions now. Hey, Basil.
Hi, Janice.
Our laptop is about to die. We need to find a charger, and we kind of need to move on anyway. So we're gonna. I just want to say thank you for calling in, and I'll let them know that you all can share your feedback with me too, and anyone that's going to delegates, because there is going to be like an open forum for all the state chair candidates. So you can ask more questions and find out more, and then let me know how you think about it, because I'll be the one that votes on this position. So we just want to say thank you, and some of us will see you this weekend.
You want to ask one question for Homer?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask quick, what can I do for you all? That's it. I would like to hear back on that. So personal message me, tell Kaylee. Thank you.
Thanks, Faisal.
Bye, Faisal.
Okay. So, my next question. Get your dirty foot off.
That's the order.
Does anyone have a charger for this type of computer?
No, another question.
Yeah.
How many people are running for state chair?
I believe there's 3 candidates.
Right now, but I think they're gonna open it up, so there might be a couple more. I know one next will be nominating, or nominating for sure, so I think there's gonna be around 5. Last year there was only 2. So.
Is it likely we'll get to hear from those other candidates?
Most likely not, because it's on Friday. Yeah, more than likely not, unfortunately. I think Michaela from St. Cloud, the president there, Basil, and then the interns from Winona are already.
Okay, any other questions regarding Students United or the election? Chair Hennick?
So if I'm not correct, you're the one who gets to vote on who is our state chair?
Yeah, so the board of directors votes for the state chair, and I'm on the board, and then the delegates assembly votes for the vice chair and the treasurer. So the delegates assembly is all the other students, and each campus has a certain number of votes. So BSU has 3 votes. Chair Hennick?
So could we all, or could we, if we have an input, could we relay that to you and help in your decision-making process?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, great.
And the same goes for vice chair too. Any of the delegates that are here, you can talk to them because ultimately, like she said, they're voting for vice chair and the treasurer too. I know there's only one, I think Lexi Byler was the only one that actually presented to you guys. I don't have the list of names of who else is running for vice chair. I know there's quite a few of them. And then same for treasurer, but there's also the current treasurer is running for it too, so.
And if anyone really is interested, all their material is online at the Students United website. You can find it on there if you're interested. Then, like I said, on Friday, there's going to be like open forums where you can go and like meet them, like a meet and greet type thing.
And if you're really committed, you can come because it's only brain.
And there's 2 more spots open there.
2 more spots open, yeah. I wasn't talking about that later, but yeah.
Chair Franklin.
Again, can you share the info for the candidates on like the Facebook page? And then
I don't know
also,
if there's like a set thing though, that's the thing. I don't know if they have like descriptions of each of the names and all that. That's the thing. I'll have to check, but if there is, I'll
Yeah,
definitely.
it should be on there.
and then I guess the other thing I'd say along with that is like, do keep in mind, like, yeah, we heard from Basil, but we have not heard from the other candidates. There's a lot more. I think there's already 5.
There's 3 right now. There's gonna be 4 for sure. And another one other person, Dylan Green, who you all know. Dylan Green actually goes here. He came here last week too.
Yeah.
So he will be also running for state chair as well.
So just keep that in mind when you're sending your like thoughts along, because there are a lot of good people running this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, well, I just want to say thank you to everyone for your patience as well with some difficulties we've been having. We had to switch computers again because we don't have a charger for this laptop, but and it sounds like Mercy's is not working. So we'll keep working on that. What we're gonna do is later on the agenda, we have a couple updates from.
And I can honestly just do it. I just do it.
Yeah,
I
so-
looked at it earlier.
Yep, so I'm gonna pass it over to him, but no one had a charger for this simple computer, right? Is that correct? The Mac? Right, we're gonna keep trying to get this up while intern Alexa takes over with this update.
Yep, so as far as, I don't know if you saw it on there for the strategic planning update, there isn't really an update on that right now. We don't have a new set meeting yet. I believe it's gonna be next week. Peter, do you wanna, you sort of decide?
Yeah, so the next strategic planning committee meeting is actually next Monday at 10 a.m. So we're gonna be continuing our discussion, actually starting the strategic planning process. And then I believe there's a town hall meeting on the 6th.
Yep. There's 2 different times. I know there's one in the morning and one afternoon. So yeah, I apparently didn't get that email, so I'll have to message Jackie. But yeah, as far as that, there isn't any big new updates yet. As far as the scholarships, I had some slides to show you about it, but we can't pull it up right now. But basically, the scholarships are coming to a close right now. They end the 1st. I was talking to some of the others, the chair people, and they were actually trying to apply for it. There's a few of them that you are recommended to send in certain information, including like a letter of recommendation from both advisor and student. But that is a bigger scholarship. That one's worth $5,000 and then $2,500. But it's definitely worth doing because a lot of people are deterred to do it because all those different requirements for it. So there's 5 different scholarships. There's the Hull, Friends, Penny, Pigou, and then there's one more I can't think of on the top of my head. All of them are really good scholarships. If you're looking for an easy one to apply for, the Friends one is $500, and all you really need to do is have like a 500-word essay. I definitely recommend that everybody apply for it before the deadline, which is on Friday. Or no, Saturday. The first is Saturday, right? Yeah, and just apply for them. Like I said, some of them might have requirements, and almost all of them have a requirement of a 2.5 GPA, which is actually not that high. So definitely worth doing. If you have any questions about it or have any comments about it, just let me know. But like I said, definitely apply for the scholarships because they're worth going for. And I'll go to Lynn.
If anyone needs me to write them a letter, please let me know ASAP because Friday comes pretty quick.
Yeah. So other than that, does anyone else have a question at all about it? No? Sweet. And then I'm just going to do my quick report real quick since I'm already talking, if that's cool. No new big reports. We are still planning on having Representative Matt Bliss on the 12th, which is a Wednesday. I'm going to try and push the time to a different time because it's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which isn't the best time for students. So I'm going to hopefully push it back either to a later time or maybe reschedule it. We are trying to plan another date too where we have Rita Albright here on campus to talk to us. I know she's talked to us personally as a Senate, but I want to have kind of a forum for her as well. So that might be later in the semester, or I can't say later in the semester because we're almost done. So it might be later in April is the better word for it. So just look out for that. I'll probably bring up more once I have it all planned out. Like it's been brought up already, we have delegates this weekend. So if you have any comments about any of the people that you know that are running, I know I don't have the list of the people that are running, or any comments about who we should vote for, because we do vote for the vice chair and the treasurer. And then if you have any comments for Kaylee, like she said, let her know. But as far as that, I do have 2 spots that are open. There are 2 people that were unable to go, so I do have 2 spots open. I know it's a big commitment because it's over the weekend. We'll be leaving around 2 o'clock on Friday, all 3 cars, but it's only in Brainerd. So it's an hour and a half drive. It's really not that far. So if anybody's interested, they pay for room and board, or yeah, I guess room and board, and then they pay for your food as well. So everything's covered. You don't have to worry about driving because we're gonna drive as a group. And as far as like information you should need to know, a lot of people that go to delegates don't know a whole lot about it. So I can talk to you about it personally on a one-on-one basis or answer any questions that you have about it before you commit to it. But I do need to know right away because I do have to figure out, I do have the driving situation figured out for those of us that are going, but it would help if someone does want to go to let me know ASAP. So other than that, I am all good to go. So I yield to any questions.
Any questions for internal office? All right. Well, unless there is dissent, I would say that we should just keep moving through the agenda and what we can do. One of the big things we need to try to do tonight is go over the bylaws. And so obviously we can't do that until we can get it up on the screen. But we can go to student senate elections if Chair Hannick wants to start going over that agenda item.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, I can go up there and try with my laptop. Do you want to just start talking about the elections?
So we're getting the posters hung up. I'm getting posters for the debate right now. We'll worry about the election week itself in a little bit. Tabling, as far as tabling goes, please sign up for tabling. I myself have lacked on tabling, I know that. But if you guys have any chances to table, please go down there and table for the debate and for election week as well. This event will be on KBSU 17, April 5th at 6 o'clock at night. There will be a viewing party directly across in Deputy 262. There'll be a bunch of, we'll get pizza, which brings me to my next agenda item. We, as a Senate, I can't purchase anything over $25. So I came to the table with two different options for the pizza. We're looking at Little Caesars. We're buying 15 pizzas. It'll be about 80 to 85, or we could go with Green Mill, and that would be about 100 to 130. Also, it'd be about $50 for the pop, drinks, plates, and napkins. That's aiming kind of high, but Galen?
For the, just so you know, I don't know if you already know about it, but for Green Mill, they do a student discount. So if you tell them that we're doing it through an organization, it might be cheaper. So I don't know if that's accounting for that or not, but just so you know.
And then I yield to TJ.
Yeah, I actually talked to the general manager about that, and so he'd give us $8 per pizza. So.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys would like to go into a discussion about the pizza, just because, you know, I'm supposed to technically bring the discussion to the table because it's over $25. Just to see what you guys would think. Would you guys prefer the cheap end or get a little, you know, spendy?
Yeah, I think it'd be good to like pass a motion on that today too, so that you can actually.
Oh yeah, I know. I need to know by today.
Yeah,
So,
so,
do a
okay,
motion.
I saw Senator Campbell first.
And just a quick note, pizza from Green Mill would be a 2-topping, whereas the Little Caesars would be 1. I don't know if that's gonna affect the decisions.
Chair Franzi?
Let's class it up a little bit and go Green Mill, guys.
Yeah.
I'm behind it.
Could we motion to go into a vote then?
Yeah,
Sounded like a lot of people were very happy with
motion.
that.
Senator Ula,
Second. He made a motion, I just seconded it.
can you repeat the motion?
Motion to go into a vote about the pizza.
Can you,
You gotta choose which one.
what exactly is the motion? Like, how much money?
Motion to vote, right?
What do you think, Mark?
Motion to approve the vote. I don't.
Oh my gosh. Go into specifics about the amount and where it'll be from?
Oh, you want me to talk about the motion? Okay, so we'll be getting 15 pizzas from either Green Mill or Little Caesars. Little Caesars would cost $8 to $85. Green Mill would cost $120 to $130.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the pizzas from Green Mill?
Yes.
Is that what you're motioning?
Sure.
Okay. Vice President Lively?
Motion to amend the current motion that we allocate $150 to the PR committee to expend on pizzas, pop, plates, and anything that they deem necessary.
Is there a
It would
second to
probably
that?
be, it would probably be more than 150. I don't mean to talk out of turn.
Chair Hennick?
I amend the motion to $200. I will not spend $200, I guarantee it, but
Okay, so we're motioning to approve $200 to the PR committee for pizza, pop, and for the plate. Okay. Chair Franzi?
Second.
All right. Any discussion on that motion? See, Vice President Lively?
Just within your knowledge of our budget, is that feasible?
Yes, is the short answer. Chair Patrolli?
And that's leaving some space for underground in there as well.
Yep. Senator Woods?
Perhaps not the best time to ask, but if there are any leftover supplies, perhaps in the office, that we would use those prior to purchasing new.
Yeah.
Just to have that online.
Purchasing what?
New plates, napkins,
Yeah.
assuming
Oh,
that there
so
are
instead of
supplies
getting
in the
reusable
office.
ones, get.
No, I'm just suggesting make sure you check the office to confirm that there aren't leftovers from previous events that we can just use up.
Yep, we'll do that.
I'm in support of an
Good point.
eclectic mix of disposables.
Any other discussion? Okay, see none, we'll move into vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Anything else, Dominic, on elections?
I'm gonna try to talk to Andy. Well, I am gonna talk to Andy Bartlett about right after the debate on the student website, my BSU, or just regular BSU, when we go to our homepage. Right in on the bubbles should be all of our executive candidates, so that will be fun and exciting. With that, is there any questions for me from you guys about this event or anything else?
Supervisor Keithley?
Does anyone need to do anything except show up
Or
this event? Like, do you need more help getting stuff ready?
I will reach
anything?
out to you if you want to reach out to me, if you really feel like you want to help, please reach out to me because I will give you a task. That I yield.
Senator McGarry?
And this is, this next Wednesday? What was the
Yes,
date
Student
again?
Achievement Day.
Okay.
Same day as Student Achievement Day.
And what time and where?
5 o'clock, or sorry, 6 o'clock in Deputy 262 on the second floor. It's adjacent from the KVSU studio.
When are we getting those posters?
Tomorrow. Because since we just passed the Green Mill, I'm actually going to advertise on the poster that it's Green Mill Pizza.
Senator Tesmer?
Do we have a Senate meeting already?
No, yeah, that's a good question. We do not have a Senate meeting on the 5th, so just go to the debate and have a good time. We also don't have a meeting on April 26th, just so everyone's aware. There's a lot of things going on that day, and it's getting close to finals, so. Okay, anything else?
I guess, yeah, one last thing. The best way to spread any type of event or anything is by word of mouth here on campus. So if you can tell your friends or anyone who you've run in contact with about the debate and elections week, to tell them to, or remind them to vote and that it's important to vote. That I yield.
Senator Gula?
What is the PR committee doing to promote the actual elections? Not the debate, but the actual voting process. Do you even know, like, what the voting process would be?
You speak up.
Sorry, I just wanted to know if the PR committee is, what the PR committee is doing to promote the actual elections and not the debate, but just the elections and the voting process.
The elections, I'm hoping that a lot of people, when you guys campaign for your Senate positions, that you guys campaign and tell people to vote and when the election time frame is. But on top of that, I will be putting up Facebook posts and we will be putting up posters and making sure the day of the debate that it is very clear when the election window is open. And on top of that as well, on the website, there should be a little bubble itself that allows people to vote, and we'll bring them to BeaverLink and such.
Okay, anything else? All right. And applications are due on April 5th too for Senate and for Cabinet, so we still need a few applications for Cabinet. If you're thinking about doing that, definitely go for it. All right, so we'll just move on then, and I think we'll just keep going we'll go to the Senator application, and we'll come back to the bylaws and constitution. So, Beth, if you just want to come on ahead and introduce yourself to us.
Hi, my name's Beth Simons. You want to hear a little about me?
Yeah.
Okay. I am actually back at BSU for a second bachelor's degree. I graduated the first time several years ago, and I'm kind of taking a new direction in my career plans. So I am a biology major, pre-osteopathic medicine. I am more or less from Bemidji. By the time I graduate, I will have given about 9 years of my life to BSU as a student and 2 years actually as a faculty. I taught instructor in political science and women's studies for a couple of years. Let's see. I'm interested in Student Senate because as I'm getting older, I'm finding that there actually aren't that many opportunities to have an impact on the things that are important to you. So I think it's my responsibility in some ways to work towards getting involved with the things that are important to me. This university is important to me. Like I said, it has a lot of years of my life. And I've enjoyed it here. And this is a great place, wonderful people. Everybody's very friendly and helpful. And I would like to have the opportunity to work with all of you who are trying to make it an even better place. And I guess secondly, a little bit more selfishly, I'm back again. I'm kind of a non-traditional student, so I'm looking for opportunities to kind of meet people, to get involved on campus. It's not quite as easy as I thought it would be to come back again the second time around. So, getting involved is a good way to do that. What else?
Yeah, no, that was great. You actually answered one of our first questions. So I just have a couple more questions for you, and then we'll see if anyone else does. But what's something specific you want to improve on our campus?
Well, like I mentioned, I taught for a couple of years, and I was not much older than some of my students. So I think I kind of had a unique perspective on student life. And I think that a lot of students come to university not really ready to be an adult. Their parents take very good care of them, but then they haven't had to live on their own and take on a lot of the responsibilities of being an adult with their own motivation. So, paying your bills, managing your social relationships, getting up on time for class every day. Those are actually kind of difficult when you're 18, 19 years old. And then you meet people, you make friends, and you go to parties, and you do all of the things that are kind of not always very beneficial to your education. So long story short, I know that we do like first year experience type programs, but maybe some sort of additional orientation for freshman students, and maybe even some continuing real life education sort of program. I think that would be maybe helpful for some of us. It would have been for me anyway. And kind of a side note on that is a gap year. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but a gap year, there are two kinds I'm thinking of. A gap year between high school and college, where you take time to work, travel, volunteer, grow up, learn how to pay your bills and get out of bed on time. And then maybe again between your junior and senior year, so you can maybe get an idea if you're really on the right track in your life. So I guess I'm not sure what kind of work I or we could do as a Senate on that kind of issue, but that's kind of something I have on my mind. Then my third thing is our International Program Center has been shrinking. When I was here the first time as an undergraduate, we had throughout the year, I think we had maybe 9 study abroad programs, short-term programs, and now we have 1 or 2 maybe. So I don't know why that is. I have some ideas, but I think it would be important to kind of rebuild that office on campus, because I did a study abroad program. I went to Malaysia, Thailand, over a J-term, and it was a very incredible experience. And if I could have afforded it, I would have done more. So giving students more opportunities to travel in kind of a low pressure, low stress sort of situation like the trip I did, I think could help students maybe learn more about the world, get more engaged, and also the connections with the international students who come through campus. I think not a lot of American students are very engaged with the International Student Organization, or not as much. So, making those connections, I think.
Okay, great. What would your friends describe your strengths as?
I think my friends would say that I'm a good listener. I'm very compassionate, genuine. Try and be honest. So, I hope that people pick up on that. And I'm a hard worker.
How did you find out about Senate?
I actually had a couple of conversations with Senator Franzine. I expressed my interest and he invited me to come sit in on the meetings. So I've been here now, you've seen me for several weeks, I'm learning a lot about how things work and the kind of interactions you have.
Okay, we have one last bonus question. We're hoping you'll tell us what your spirit animal is and why.
So are there extra points if I get it right? I would say my spirit animal is probably a lizard, because I could probably sit out on a rock in the hot sun all day. That would be okay with me.
Any follow-up questions for Beth? Yeah, that's a great answer, so thank you. We will have our office manager sequester you now. We'll there were a couple things on the Constitution. Guys, you can-
Could, if SAFAC comes back, could they do their report first before they sit through our bylaws?
Oh, yeah, was there any objection to that?
Special privileges.
Okay, so we are going to let SAFAC give their report now, in case they need to be somewhere. Never, I'm never gonna see it. I don't do much.
All right, well, set it all.
So we got our good number today. That was super exciting, actually. I'm not gonna tell you, but we got a number today. I bring my phone out because this is the dates. So April 12th, just 2 weeks from today, we are, Allison and I are presenting to cabinet. Okay, and the 19th, present to you guys. Is anyone excited? I'm excited.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What will this presentation entail?
Numbers, obviously,
Oh,
of the different organizations and what we allocated and whatnot.
like, so what you're so all your funds, where you allocate all of your funds, correct?
The funds that we get, yes.
Okay, cool, great, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll keep it short and sweet. I know you guys got some exciting stuff you gotta get done.
We look forward to the consultation.
Sweet.
Awesome. Thank you. So, if you remember, the Constitution is the one that needs to be approved by the student body. And so we need to take one more look at it because there were a couple things on there. Okay, so there are a couple things in the Constitution that we like overlooked that I'm hoping that we can all just like agree to by general consent and we get it updated on Beaverlink. Okay, so the first one is we got an email today. Chair Hennick, you got the email, right? You read the email?
Well, I mean, technically we got it on Sunday, but.
So there was an email sent to the BSU Student Senate that basically just asked if someone had seen our Constitution on Beaverlink, and they're hoping we could add the word gender. So I don't know if you can see that, but at the section 4.A, kind of the last sentence there, no person shall be discriminated against with regards to race, sex, gender, color, creed, religion, so on and so forth. And so we didn't have gender in there, and a student had recommended we put that in there. So to me, like that's a kind of a no-brainer, and we could just do that without, unless there are any like objections or anyone have a comment on that.
Oh, comment. So basically what this man or whomever, I don't remember who said it, but the reason why they wanted gender within it is because basically the way it's worded right now is people that might be transgender or something, that technically could be discriminated against, but obviously that wasn't what we were trying to do, so we put that in there. I yield.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, so it looks like we're good to go there. And the other thing is there was something under the SAFAC policy, it just needed to be clarified. So as it was written in there, it basically said that Student Senate appoints the SAFAC committee, when in reality we appoint the chair, and then the chair selects the committee members. So I fixed that in here, and I just wanted to make sure that people are okay with that. That's what we do in practice. As far as I am aware, that's what we've been doing in practice for as long as I've been here. So Advisor Keekly, you.
I think you could probably fix that instead of saying appointed, just say approve, because
Yeah,
it does come to you guys to get approval.
That is actually what I did.
Okay.
So sorry, I took a while to get to it. But
my back
section
is-
3, the Student Senate shall approve. I just clarified the 8 members, the vice chair, and the chair. And then it does go into the detail of how that happens. So the chair is appointed by the Student Senate president, and then the vice chair and the members are appointed by the SAFAC chair and approved by the Senate. So it's just kind of a technical thing, clearing that up. Any thoughts on that or objections to friendly amendment here, Chair Hennick?
I'm not like objecting to anything, but I see that it was written in as a point. So does this mean that we were doing things wrong for a number of years, that we were supposed to be appointing these members?
According to this, possibly. Advisor Keekly, do you have a comment on that?
I think the problem was that the SAFAC bylaws and the Constitution were not congruent, and so changing the wording is going to make that work.
Senator Garing?
We should probably keep the wording consistent. We have appointed in section B. or is that,
And so the chair is actually appointed by the Student Senate President.
okay, and then is C the same then? Appointed by, okay, that's by SAFAC, okay.
The issue is in the first line, you have approved 8 members, 1 vice president, 1 chair, when really we appoint the vice chair and the chair. When you say that in B and C.
Yeah, we appoint the chair.
Yeah, but you also say we approve them. So if we appoint them, we don't need to approve them.
So you approve 8 members, 1 vice chair, and appoint 1 chair.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yes.
Everyone good? Any other concerns with that or? Okay, cool. So we can move on from the Constitution. Those are just the only 2 things that I had talk about with the Constitution. So we'll get that updated on B-Grilling so that students can see that. Updated my laptop. I'm still trying to get used to it. Okay, so then the bylaws. All right, and these were uploaded to the OneDrive, so you should have been able to take a peek at these already, but basically these can be approved internally, so we'd like to do that over the next couple of meetings, and I know that we're already running kind of late, so I don't know how long people want to go for. We can just get started if everyone's comfortable with that, and basically what I'm going to do is just go through the changes. I'm not going to read through the entire document. I'm just going to go through the changes, and I do encourage you to take a closer look if you're interested on the OneDrive, so that come back on the 12th, we'll have an opportunity to talk more. Have anything that concerns you, but
Can we treat this like as if it was a bill? So this time we'll read over it, next time we'll discuss on it, and the third time we'll vote on it?
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna try to do it within 2 meetings, just because of the schedule that we have for the rest of the year.
Okay.
But we can just get started today, see how things go today, and then next week, and but yeah, we're not gonna probably vote on anything today. All right, we added a couple definitions. We added a section on non-voting members. Excused absences were something we felt needed to be defined. University committee, just to make that more clear, and then executive session, since we've been doing that lately too. Any questions on that? Just someone please let me know if I go too fast at all. Just stick your hand out. So we cleaned up a lot of the language with the Minnesota State University Student Association, so I won't go over all that. They simply changed their name, Students United. We did add a section 4 here, and we talked about this one a lot. We understand that it's difficult to recommend something in a governing document, but we just felt this was so important that we would put it in here. So just recommending to be all-inclusive and recruit all different kinds of students. Chair Gannick?
So PSEO students are allowed to be on Student Senate?
Yep. Yeah, PSEO students are eligible to be on Student Senate. Any other thoughts on that one? Moving right along. As I'm sure I think you've heard already, we did change the point system around from a total of 20 points each semester to 10. We thought this would just simplify things. And so then, of course, we did lower the points for each absence is 3 now instead of 5. And then office hours would be 1 instead of 2, and so on. Elections, we determined that the spring general election would be the first full week of April here in section 1, just because we did have some problems with that in past years where there was debate on, we just think it should be consistent so that people can be prepared for it. And I understand that this year that didn't really work out, but we're hoping that this time for future years we'll help people prepare early, really get the ball rolling for the elections in April. And we kind of just took out this fall general election because we felt that, so we've been having a spring election and then also another fall election. But we, as a committee, decided it'd be better to just do any vacancies we have in fall, to just appoint them like we do now, where we have someone come up and speak to us, we vote on them internally. So we wouldn't have to do 2 general elections with the student body. Any thoughts on that? And you'll see that in section 4. that any vacancies shall be filled by internal election at a regular scheduled student senate meeting. In case I jumped over this, just so you know, the underline is the new language and the strike through is we're getting rid of it. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll say that just in case. Changed here. We just added a few things to the Constitution Committee, specifying that the vice president should serve on it and the president as well, that it should be chaired by the president, just to ensure that there is leadership for that. It's a very important committee, of course. In reports, we decided the CAB members would be recommended to, rather than be required to give a report, which is kind of what we've been doing in practice now, but that they shall be required to do so if requested. So if anybody does need some information, we can require that from a CAB member. And we just also added that reports could be written and distributed in advance if the CAB member so chose to do that. Vacancies. I think we just cleared that up because this is what we're doing in practice, is that whenever there's a vacancy, they come to 2 full meetings, and at the 3rd they'll be voted on. So we're just specifying that. Technical changes here under section 3. So for example, if there were 4 new senators that were applying, which would probably happen in the fall since we'll have multiple vacancies, all the questions will be the same, just so that it's fair.
I have a question about the fall elections. So all freshmen senators will be appointed rather than elected.
Yes.
So what happens if we have 6, or, you know, how do we go about facilitating that?
Yeah. So in case anyone missed that, Chair Hennick was just asking, so then for the fall election, we would have to appoint all of our freshman seats since they're not here yet, obviously, for the spring. And so how would that work if we had, say, 6 or so applications and we have 4 freshman spots available, if I'm remembering correctly? We do have some at large, I think 3 at large. Is that right? And so we'd have some wiggle room there too. But if we had more applicants than we did spots, we could simply have to vote on them. Any other questions on that? Okay. We took out special presidential elections. And I'm trying to remember why. We had a good reason for it. Anyone else from the Constitution Committee recalling why we took this out? Vice President Lively?
There's other language in there that kind of gives a succession for when the presidency is vacant, and it's held by then the vice president. And so it's kind of going off the other language that was in the Constitution. So.
Okay. Yeah, because I think there's something in there about how the vice president takes over.
Right, there's already language in there.
All right, any questions about that? We did request that the student senate agenda be given to the office manager 48 hours prior, which is kind of what we've been trying real hard to do now. To get it in our governing documents, so it'll definitely be something that the Senate will try to stick to. And it's supposed to be time sensitive, so we're really trying to get through meetings in an efficient way. Okay, under bills and resolutions, we did add this in here that they'll be discussed and voted on in at least one student senate committee meeting before coming to the full Senate. I don't know how much this has been done in practice this year, but it's a goal that we'd like to get towards, just so that the bill can be discussed in a smaller group and kind of maybe weed out some of those discussion pieces, concerns, grammatical errors that we won't have to deal with them here in the Senate meeting, and then they'll come to the Senate after the committee meeting. Any questions or thoughts on that? Thanks, I'm flying through it. We didn't understand too much in personnel review. Okay, we did some weird things in item C. But in the end, everything stayed the same. Stipends would still be $400 per semester for each cabinet member. And then just putting in the stipends will be dispersed at the end of each academic semester, but before the semester ends. And that was just to clear things up, making sure that student leaders got paid before they were gone, before they left for winter break or summer, whatever was coming. Okay, evals. If you remember, we did evals back in fall. We did some evaluations, and we thought that process was a little convoluted or confusing, and so we tried to clean that up the best we could. And how we landed is that the evaluation process would be that senators will evaluate their committee chairs since they work directly with them on a weekly basis, if not more, and then that all committee chairs would evaluate their senators, and then that members of the cabinet shall evaluate each other. So we're trying to find a way where everyone gets evaluated, but where they're also getting evaluated by someone that they work directly with on a consistent basis, so that the evaluation is like fair and that sort of thing. So that's kind of where we landed. Any questions on that? Again, I know I'm kind of going through this fast, but we'll have another meeting to talk about this, and you can spend some time with it on the OneDrive if you'd like to. We did add under presidential rights veto power. So if there is like discussion on this, I would probably pass it over to Vice President Lively and maybe sequester myself. I don't know if anyone else from the committee wants to talk about this. I don't want people to think that like I wrote this in there. Like,
Josh.
Wasn't Josh
I
who
think
brought
it
up
was,
having
yeah,
the
Vice
veto?
President Lively.
Yeah, so this is something that I offered to the committee and that we ultimately thought would be kind of a good goal in here. And of course, as it states above, the president doesn't have voting rights. They're not able to make motions. They can't vote on bills or anything here. But what they do have is they have the knowledge of kind of the best knowledge for our organization, the best knowledge of working with administration, the best knowledge of what is going on at BSU and how a bill might impact a certain area of BSU or impact it in some way that might not be foreseen by someone else here. And so what this allows them is to, if that bill were to pass through Senate, they would ultimately have the opportunity to strike it down. But then it still comes back to the Senate should you guys will have that opportunity to override that veto. So if you think of our own Congress and executive branch, it kind of is very modeled, very similar to that. So it just gives the president a little bit of power and a little bit of say on things that they might see. And as you can see in there, it isn't kind of just willy-nilly, yeah, I don't like that, I'm going to strike it down. They have to provide a certain reasoning. There's got to be documentation with this here. So that way everyone understands why this happened, why it went there. But ultimately, I think it's kind of just a way to kind of go and help the organization to kind of get it to be more smooth and kind of transparent and working with the administration of the university here.
Any questions or thoughts on that? I think everybody just wants to get out of here. Okay. I believe this is where under the harassment policy, I believe we added the affirmative consent. And so this is something that is important to us. At the beginning of the year, those of you that you may remember, we did sign on to support the It's On Us campaign to help end sexual violence on campus and that sort of thing. So we thought it'd be good to have an affirmative consent policy in here. And I believe this was, we did look at some other campuses and kind of put something together that we thought would fit here. And Vice President Lively did put this together, so I don't know if there's any other comments on that or something that I missed. It's pretty straightforward. We went back and forth a little bit on the alcohol and illegal substances policy, and we landed on just simply that we will comply with the Michigan State University policy. Because then we feel like we're safe, we're covered. The university's got a really well thought policy, so that's what we said. What's on that? Oh, Senator Gula?
Yeah, so when you say that the Student Senate shall comply with BSU's policy, what happens to, let's say, if the Senate is going on an event outside of campus or like somewhere else, you're having a meeting or something like that. And I mean, just to cover that, does that cover that as well? That's what I'm asking.
In my opinion, yes.
Okay.
It is really vague though, and that's the thing about vague policy, vague bylaws that they can be interpreted differently. So in my mind, I would see that as any time that a student is representing Student Senate in any fashion at any place, any location, they would be complying with the BSU policy. So I would personally read it. Chair Francie?
The policy itself does describe anything you're doing off campus.
Okay.
You have to follow the policy, so
Yeah.
it
and
doesn't
if
matter
it's-
where you are, as long as you're in an official capacity, you have to follow it, so.
Any other thoughts on that? Good question. Alright, well, I think we're almost at the bottom here, so I think we'll just finish them for today at least. The ADA policy, American Disability Act, we did actually just before this meeting, speak with Chris Hoffman. He's the Director of Disability Services here at BSU. So we're really looking to kind of strengthen this language, because I don't think this has been changed in a while. And it is pretty standard, so we don't really need to change it, but we did want to make sure that like we were up to date with this. And so this is the language that he had recommended. It's the language that their office uses. And I did tell him that we are very interested in being kind of like a more progressive and all-inclusive organization. And so it's kind of hard to put that in like a governing document, but he did recommend to us some suggestions on different campaigns we could launch to bring awareness to the Disability Services Office and that sort of thing. So where are we at on that? Chairman Phil?
I think it'd be awesome if we could include their location, Decker 202.
Yeah.
With that, with their phone number and email.
Is it 202?
It's Decker 202.
Is that good? Good point. Okay, so for the SAFAC policy, this is something that we worked directly with SAFAC, a group of, well, it was me and Chair Frenzy. We worked and Advisor Keekly with SAFAC to develop a new policy. And so we did, I don't know if anyone remembers, we did go over this policy a couple of meetings ago. Cabinet's seen it a few times. And it was simply a matter of copying and pasting it into our governing documents. So it basically just lays out the consultation process, which you'll see unfold starting on April 12th when they come to Cabinet, and then April 19th when they come to Senate. So it's basically just giving us an opportunity to respond to their budget and express any concerns that we have, which is something that we've been interested in. So over that here. And we made it. Okay, cool. So any questions at all, Senator Deering?
Just, to help me with my OCD, can you bold the sections in the SAFAC?
Oh, yeah.
Under SAFAC.
Oh,
Mine,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I'll make sure to do that. I'll make a mental note. I'm not gonna sit here and do it right now,
Yeah,
but
that's-
yeah, good catch. And yeah, if you see any other grammatical errors like that, either please let me know, or I'll make sure that the most updated one is on the OneDrive after the meeting, and you can go on there and do it too. So we'll talk about it again on the 12th, because again, there's no meeting next week.
Motion to adjourn.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
We have reports.
Oh, we'll just see if there's any quick reports.
I thought like we were right there. We're on like
Almost
home
there, yeah, we
plate,
made it through.
home sliding.
All right, any reports? Chair Hack?
I don't really have a report, but building off of what I talked about earlier, if you want to know more about the debate or have any other further questions, contact me or Carl Sewell. If you need his email, I can get it to you. I yield.
Advisor Keekly?
I just have a couple of quick events coming up that I'd like to talk to you guys about. On Wednesday, April 12th, which I know is the next meeting we have, but we are a pre-release location for a documentary. It's pretty exciting. Called Almost Sunrise. It's about two recent veterans who have kind of come on this journey of self-discovery and talking about how to come to peace with who they are and stuff. And the trailer looks awesome. So that is April 12th at 7 p.m. in Higgs Hour 100. And then just a reminder about the leadership celebration. Some of you may have gotten contacted through some other clubs and organizations, but the leadership celebration is April 18th from 4 to 6. Y'all are invited. So if you're interested in going to get some free food, please RSVP.
Yeah, and also I believe that is there a nomination process?
There is a nomination process. So if you'd like to nominate someone for an award through the leadership of clubs and orgs.
Any questions for Advisor Keekly? Okay, other reports? Chair Gable?
So my committee approved the constitution of 3 groups: Acapella Beavers, Bird Watching Club, and the GRE Club. And then recently a molecular biology club that Chair Franzen started. And yeah, if there are some questions about them, come ask me.
Great, thank you. Chair McClellan?
Okay, so with my campus fairs hat on, we have started surveying. I don't think we're going to be tabling for surveys, but we have selected a wide array of introductory classes that are all about 100 students in the classes. So the surveys are currently in the office. If you have time during your office hours and want something related to Senate to do, they kind of need to be arranged and stapled together. There are a box of ones that are completed. So if you just kind of look through those to see how they're arranged and whatnot, feel free to spend your time working on those and putting the rest of them together. Slash, if you have any large classes that you're a part of that you think we should be surveying, and let me know. Can I transition to
That's what we're surveying on.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. We are surveying on some accessibility stuff, and so we're asking different areas of campus, like if students have issues with doors and elevators and walkways, if they have to take long roundabout ways to areas, stuff like that, just for our knowledge that we could probably pass on to disability services. And then we're also revisiting the bottled water sale ban. And so we're asking some students about what their potential behavior would be if bottled water wasn't available to them, and if they would be in favor. And both of those topics include an information half sheet about why we're looking into this and reasons why we think, at least in bottled water, why we think that it would be a good thing to do. So there's that. Can I do my dining services committee report? Okay. So I don't exactly have anything to report. Unfortunately, this committee is supposed to be made up of one student senate representative and then all of the residence hall presidents. And unfortunately, all of those residence hall presidents usually don't come. So because of that, I want to open up the invitation to the rest of Senate. I know I was having a conversation last week with some senators in the office about dining services. And so I told them the invitation stands. And I'd like to extend that to the rest of Senate. If any of you are interested, it's going to be tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the conference room in the Res Life office. Is there anyone right now that I can expect to see there? Anyone right now? Tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So that's Thursday, 2 o'clock in Walnut. Senator Ulab, are you still going to come?
I have class at that time.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Who else were we talking with in the office last week?
It was me and Cody.
I have a class at 2, otherwise I would be there.
Yeah. But pass on to them the recommendations that I talked about.
All right, anything else in terms of one? Chair Gable?
I have one more bit of information from the Strategic Planning Committee. As you know, there's a town hall meeting on April 6th. I have the times right here. The first session is at 8 a.m. It's 8 to 9:30. And the second session is in the afternoon from 2 to 3:30. So I think it'd be awesome if you guys could go. A lot of good information there, so I yield.
Great, thank you. Chair Hennick?
I had something for the dining services committee. I ate there with Willie recently. We had pasta, pizza, and some other stuff, but the pasta was very bad. The noodles were very gross and kind of like like had this very hard and inconsistent texture. The pizza was like eating crunchy cardboard, basically. It was tasteless and it was absolutely horrible. I had apple juice as my drink, and the apple juice was almost like a syrup in my cup. So that is something that I would like to see addressed, especially. I don't think students should be drinking syrup. But on another note, there was very also positives that I had that came from this experience. The staff members themselves are very nice. When I spoke to them, when I went and got ice cream, it was a very welcoming experience. The vegetables were cooked correctly. A lot of the things on the main line, right next to where the flat grill was, those things were cooked correctly. But it seems like a lot of other things were just inappropriate to me. Not you.
Right, Office Manager Member.
I was just gonna say, I remember we had a conversation about like the meat, the sandwich line, and I got a sandwich today, and there was really like 2 slices and just covered the bread, and that was it. So I think it depends on who's working the best. I think kind of a problem. So just if you could revisit that, that'd be great.
All right. Anything else? Okay, I just want to let people know real quick then too, since we don't have a meeting next week, we do have highway cleanup next weekend. And so we were playing around with dates, either Saturday or Sunday. For me, I prefer to go with Saturday. It's April 8th. And so I had written down a few names of people that could go. Emily, Caitlin, Josh, Kelsey, William, and then Peter, Mercy, and Corey were questionables. So anyone else that would be available on Saturday, April 8th, and I think we're gonna do like 10 to noon as we usually do, and then we grab lunch.
You can write it down for sure.
Okay, thanks. 10 a.m. Yep. Anyone else? Is that a maybe back there? I'll take a maybe.
I'll be a baby.
Okay, cool. It's actually a lot of fun. Last time we had a lot of fun. We had some cool things on that side. What?
Where do we meet? Is it over at the banquet?
Yeah, I can send out like a group chat too, but I think last time we met in the Senate office, and then we have carpool over there. Senator Ula?
Do you still have April 9th going?
Right now, no, unless someone really feels strongly about that. I won't be there on the 9th. But we do have a good handful of people for the 8th. All right, I yield. Points for good of the order. Start with Chairman Zola.
This isn't anything huge. I would just like to remind people that I know we only have 3 meetings left, but that's all the more reason to stay. 2 meetings left. This was our 3rd. That's all the more reason to stay productive, to stay on task, to stop the side conversations, and to make sure you're speaking in order, just to make sure that these are being as productive as possible. We only have 2 meetings left with Kaylee as our president, and I just think we should show her respect and make sure that we're all doing the best that we can. With that, I yield.
If we ever want popcorn ever again in our lives, I would like us to pick up any that you see laying around so Jay doesn't murder us.
Chairman?
Especially
Tomorrow
Galen's.
and Friday, there will be a film festival in Baingsburg. I think it would be great. I can't remember the room, but Harry Potter. There, great. Do you know which room it is in, Emily?
I don't know, but they were passing out flyers.
It's a big auditorium. Where the big auditorium is in Baingsburg. Sorry.
The recital.
The recital hall. Yes, thank you. In the recital hall, there will be films playing there throughout the day, Thursday and Friday. I think it will be great. All of you guys should go.
So as we all know, Student Achievement Day is next Wednesday. Senator Lutz and I will be presenting on Way the Waste at 11:30 in the morning. I don't know what room it is, but you guys should come, and I'm sure there will be information about where we are given to you at some point, but you should come and watch us.
SFP is going to be having our own Lakeshore cleanup this coming Monday, starting at 3, and we will be meeting in the Baingsburg parking lot. So if you guys have any classes where you need service, this might be a good one to tell that class. So students might, this would be a good way for them to volunteer right on campus, or if you would like to attend and help clean up the lake. With that, I yield.
Ops manager member.
There's a student here on our campus. Her name's Kaylin Cohen, and she's doing a mental health photography project. And so she's reaching out to any students, and she's at like 37 people right now, I think, and her goal is to get 50 people. It's students, faculty, parents, anybody associated with BSU. And pretty much if you have a story about like your own mental health, or if you have a story for about like somebody else that has affected your life, she wants to do a photography project. So she pretty much, what she's been doing so far is she's been taking people who have had mental health and who feel comfortable sharing and writing like words all over them, or taking eyeliner and just taking pictures. And she hopes to eventually one day, like next year, do a project at the Student Achievement Day. So if you're interested in doing that, her name is Kaylin Cohen, or if you need her name again, you can reach out to me and I can help you guys. But if you're interested, definitely check it out. It's a good cause.
Senator Schulman.
I just want to go behind what Mercy said. I've actually personally done it. I had whatever written in mascara, and all I had to do was take one normal picture and then a picture with whatever I wanted in my head. So it's not bad. It's easy. I've seen a lot of pictures she's already got. It's really cool. So I encourage you to do it.
Thank you. All right, anything else? Chair Henning?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded by Senator Tibbetts. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions?